What's going on, people, and welcome to another match recap and player ratings for yesterday's game. England into the quarterfinals after a 3-0 win against Senegal. Before I get into it, I forgot to do a roundup the other day of the last group game, so just go through them quickly. We had Cameroon beat Brazil 1-0, but too late for Cameroon to qualify. And Brazil rested a few of their players and rotated the squad a bit, so not a huge shock there that Cameroon got the win, but a little bit too late in that one for them to progress. Serbia losing 3-2 to Switzerland in a game that Serbia were desperate to go through in. I don't think they've ever reached the knockout stages, so Switzerland winning 3-2 in that one, sending Serbia home. Ghana 0, Uruguay 2, and even though Uruguay won, similar to Cameroon, they left it too late in the group stage to qualify for the next phase, and we saw the emotion on Suarez's face on the bench at the final whistle, realising that they hadn't done enough to go through, despite winning the game 2-0. So Uruguay have gone home along with Ghana, and South Korea also beating Portugal 2-1. And both of them teams actually qualified for the next phase. I don't think that there was too many surprises in that. The game, like Cameroon beating Brazil, wasn't a huge shock because of the rotation. They still did well to win, but it wasn't too much of a surprise. And South Korea beating Portugal is not a huge upset in my eyes. It's quite big, but they were both going through anyway, pretty much. So I know South Korea had to fight for it a bit, but I always kind of expected them to go through after seeing them in the group game. So South Korea beating Portugal 2-1. And into the knockout games then, guys. We had Netherlands beat the USA 3-1. I felt the Netherlands were probably... I think USA were probably as good as them in the game in terms of on the ball and doing things, but Netherlands were more clinical when it mattered, and that was the difference, because USA did have their chances. Pulisic had a chance about 2 minutes into the game, and they did have a few other chances, but they just weren't clinical enough like Holland were, and they went through 3-1 Netherlands. So... And Argentina beat Australia 2-1. Australia getting a goal pretty late on in the game to try and mount a comeback, but it was too late. And Argentina progressed through. I actually predicted the US to beat Holland, but I did predict Argentina to beat Australia. So got 50% of that right. So Argentina will now play Holland in the quarterfinal, and I expect that hopefully will be a good game. They've got a bit of history between them. And then yesterday's games, we had France beat Poland 3-1. 2 goals from Mbappe, 1 for Giroud. And Poland getting a goal back that was a bit lucky. Mbappe with 5 goals now in the tournament. I think he's been player of the tournament. I do think he could be a little bit more unselfish at times, but he's still producing himself as well, so you can't argue with it too much. 3-1 win for France, and then in England beating Senegal 3-0 in a pretty comfortable game. There was one save that Pickford had to make. I think it was from Sarr. That was a good save. If that had gone in, maybe the game would have changed a bit, but I think on the whole we look comfortable in the game. But again, I think we're still too slow with possession and building up the play, and we're still a bit cautious. So look, we've got to play France next. I'm going to be doing a preview for that, and I'll be going over it on the whiteboard, so watch out for that coming soon. But I'm worried about it because we definitely could have had an easier team at this point. But look, we have to beat who's in front of us, and France is going to be the ultimate test, I think. I think so far in this tournament, France have looked the best team, closely followed by Spain, I would say. So I think France are the ones to beat right now, and it's on us to do it. As I said, I think the quarterfinals will be our limit. Hopefully I'm wrong, but it's going to be a tough one against France, really tough. So yeah, a goal coming in that one from, we got one from Saka that was very nicely finished. Henderson picking up a goal as well. So yeah, sharing out the goals a bit, and Kane obviously getting one as well. So I'm not a massive fan of Kane dropping back there and trying to play this creative role in number 10. He's there as our striker. I know he's the top assister in the World Cup at the moment, but for me, that's not what he's there to do. I know he can do it, but he's meant to be our number 9, and I want him to stay in the box, and we should play with a number 10, the likes of Maddison. That's what he's there for. I don't want Kane doing that. I know it's worked up to this point, but I want Kane in the box and finishing off chances. So it was a good win, but it's still not a massive test yet. France will be the test. If we get through France, we might have a chance. But look, I don't think we'll get through France. I will do a preview for that. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Into the player ratings. Pickford, 6. That one decent save, but it was enough to bump it up from an average because it was a decent save. It was powerful, it was quick, and he just had to react, and he did. So 6. Walker, a 3. I'm worried about Walker if they play him against Mbappe. I think he's the best option to play against Mbappe, but I think Sarr had him on toast yesterday several times. So if he's going to have him on toast, what's Mbappe going to do to him? I'd give Walker a 3. Stones a 4. I think he got beat a lot yesterday, and we got away with it. And I actually think Maguire was the better of the two yesterday, which I didn't think I would hear myself say. And I would only give Maguire an average of a 5, but I'd give Stones a 4. I think he got beat too easily and looked a bit shaky. Shaw, I'd give him a 4. I don't think it was his best game. Didn't really get forward too much for me. His deliveries weren't great, and I don't think he had a great game, so a 4. Bellingham, I thought, was world class. The amount of driving runs through the midfield he did and starting off moves that led to goals, and just he reminds me of Gerrard. And I just think he's world class. He hasn't been every single game so far, but I think yesterday was probably his best performance so far without even getting a goal. So I think he was our man of the match. 9 for Bellingham for me. I thought he was world class. Rice, 5, average. I thought he had a pretty quiet game. I still like to see him involved a bit more, but wasn't really tested. 5. Henderson, 6, obviously got his goal, and he was pushing up higher than I thought he would in the game at times as well. So I thought he was quite good yesterday, Henderson, 6. Saka, 7. Obviously, he got his goal, very nicely finished. He also got an assist. Very nicely finished. He kind of drifted in and out of the game at times, but I think he played well enough to deserve a decent rating, especially because he scored his goal so well, and I think he did look lively. So 7. Kane, a 4. He dropped back. He might have created some stuff, but I don't want him doing that. I want him to be our striker, our number 9, and stay up front, and that's what I want him to do, and I don't think he did it enough. 4. Foden, 6. I think he did lose the ball a lot, but he also got 2 assists in the game, and I don't think you can argue with that. I think it's his best game I've seen him have so far, including last year at the Euros. So hopefully there's more to come from him. 6. And then the subs, we had Rashford, Grealish, Phillips, Mount and Dyer. And I thought they were all average, to be honest. I don't think they really did a lot when they came on, but didn't do anything wrong either. Rashford could have had an assist at one point, but I can't remember who fluffed it now. I think it might have been Kane. Didn't quite get to it in the box, but I think they were all average, to be honest, but not terrible. And then Southgate, for me, would get a 7. I think the tactics were a bit still too defensive and cautious, but we got the clean sheet. We're through to the quarterfinals. I still want him to take more risks, though. He made all of his subs again, which I have to give him credit for, but I would also say, where's the danger in bringing Maddison on in this if you're 3-0 up? Where's the danger in bringing Gallagher on if you're 3-0 up? Where's the danger in taking Kane off and resting some of these players earlier in the match when you're 3-0 up? So that would be my critique towards him for this. I think there's definitely a lot of room for growth, and he just needs to take more risk, basically. He's doing well at the moment in terms of progressing, but we saw this in the Euros, and then it ultimately ended up counting for nothing. And if you're not going to bring players on at 3-0 when you're comfortable, when are you going to do it when you're up against decent sides and you're under pressure and you need to make a change? You're going to be too scared to do it. So that would be my gripe. Man of the match for me would be Bellingham with a 9. Thought he was world class. And Southgate, I'd give him a 7. A bit above average, but we still need to see a lot more. That is it, guys. Let me know your ratings in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe. Make sure the notifications are on. And we got 2 games today as well for the last 16 games. We got Japan v Croatia at 3 o'clock. And then we got Brazil versus South Korea at 7 tonight, which I'm hoping both of these games will be pretty decent at least. I'm hoping Japan to win against Croatia. I'm going to go for 1-0 Japan in that one. And Brazil, South Korea, I've gone with a 2-1 Brazil win. So hope we might even get an upset. Imagine Japan against South Korea in the quarterfinals. That'd be awesome to me anyway. But let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, and I'll speak to you soon.